Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, 62-year-old man shot dead in St. Anne. A 62-year-old man was shot dead as he sat in his car in Hampstead Square in St. Anne on Saturday, the police say. He has been identified as Christopher Ramjeet from Comfort Hill District in Runaway Bay in the parish. The incident occurred about 8:25 a.m. while Ramjeet was sitting in his Toyota Probox motor car. Ramjeet was assisted to the St. Anne's Bay Hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. No official motive has been established in Ramjeet's death. The Runaway Bay Criminal Investigation Branch is probing the matter. Human skeletal remains found in Portmore. The St. Catherine South police are trying to identify human skeletal remains that were found in a gully near the Phoenix Vista community in Portmore on Saturday. Residents reportedly stumbled upon the skeletal remains at about 10:20 a.m. and summoned the police. Upon their arrival at Madrid Way, the human remains were discovered near a gully in the community. The remains were removed for storage. The Portmore Criminal Investigation Branch is leading the probe. Jamaican among more than 200 immigrant offenders nabbed in ICE operation. The United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement says it has collaborated with law enforcement partners in apprehending a Jamaican among 206 undocumented immigrants during an enhanced targeted immigration enforcement operation in New York City. Jamaican Derek Alfonso Roberts, 60, was arrested along with Dominican Republic national Modesto Arias Soto, 35, in the operation that was focused on egregious criminal alien offenders, including transnational criminal organizations known to operate in and around New York. ICE said Roberts is an illegal present Jamaican national whose criminal history includes convictions for manslaughter with intent to cause serious physical injury, criminal possession of controlled substance, criminal solicitation, corruption of minors, possessing an instrument of crime, terrorist threats, criminal conspiracy, cocaine possession with intent to distribute, carrying a firearm during and in relation to a drug trafficking crime, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and the possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. According to ICE, Arias Soto is an illegally present Dominican Republic national whose criminal history includes a conviction for conspiracy to distribute narcotics and an arrest for tampering with the public records. Others arrested include undocumented nationals from Spain, Ecuador, Venezuela, Guatemala, Honduras, and Mexico. ICE said 121 of the 206 apprehended had significant criminal convictions or are currently facing charges for crimes such as murder, assault, arson, rape, sexual assault against the minors, and drug trafficking. New York is much safer today because of the hard work of ICE and our law enforcement partners, said Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons. Working with our partner agencies, ICE officers and agents arrested hundreds of alien offenders and removed them from the streets of New York. Throughout this enhanced enforcement operation, we targeted the most dangerous alien offenders in some of the most crime-infested neighborhoods in and around the city of New York, he added. Our efforts resulted in 206 arrests in just 1 week. I commend the efforts of everyone involved as we were truly committed to the success of this operation. Lyons said ICE remains dedicated to its mission to prioritize public safety by arresting and removing illegal alien offenders from communities throughout the United States. Trilani man charged with murder in throat-slicing incident. A man who is accused of slicing the throat of another man at a business establishment in Trilani on Thursday, April 17, has been charged with murder. Charged is 30-year-old Antoine White, otherwise known as Akeem, of Campbell's Land, Albertone in the parish. The deceased has been identified as 31-year-old Aidan Barnett, otherwise known as AIDS, of the same community. Reports from the Falmouth police are that about 8:30 p.m., Barnett entered a business establishment, talked with the server, and then turned to leave. It is alleged that White, who was sitting inside, got up with a knife in his hands, which he used to slash Barnett's throat as he exited the building. Barnett was transported to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. White, however, was reportedly nabbed by residents and beaten before he was taken into custody by lawmen and taken to the hospital, where he was treated. He remains in police custody. White was formally charged on Friday, April 18, based on eyewitness statements. Rum Cream charged with the chopping death of pastor. A 47-year-old painter of Gale Spring in St. Mary has been charged with murder following the chopping death of a pastor farmer in their community on Monday, April 14. The deceased has been identified as 61-year-old Rollin Henry. Charged with his murder is Wendell Mills, otherwise called Rum Cream. Reports from the Gale police are that about midnight, Henry was at home with his family when they smelled smoke. Checks were made and they reportedly saw a man setting fire to a section of the house. It is alleged that Henry and a family member went outside and were attacked by the man. The attacker reportedly inflicted several chop wounds to Henry's head and feet and struck him with stones. The family member managed to escape unhurt. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, the injured man was transported to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Mills turned himself in to the police later that day and was charged on Friday, April 18. A court date is being finalized for him. Second suspect arrested in relation to arson attacks in Greendale, St. Catherine. The Spanish Town Police have arrested a second suspect in connection with Saturday's arson attacks in the community of Greendale in St. Catherine. 3 trucks were set on fire in the early morning attacks. Residents captured one of the suspects and handed him over to the police. The second suspect was later captured by the police. Both men are being questioned by investigators. One of the trucks was destroyed in the attacks, while 2 others were damaged. It is believed that the fires were started using trash from garbage bins. The perpetrators also attempted to set fire to a van but was unsuccessful. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.